Hello, this is Juanita Shanks, founder and CEO of FailSafe-ERA, coming to you from Stories from the Other Side. I have with me here today Mr. Isaiah Landry, business owner, an agent of change, and a returning citizen. Welcome, Isaiah, to Stories from the Other Side.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited, Isaiah, to be able to just share with the world all about you. I remember when I first met you. I think it was maybe about 2 years ago, and you were in pretty bad shape, right? And look at you now. You are just doing great. Can you share a little bit about your life prior to incarceration, and maybe some of what are some of the factors that led up to your involvement in the justice system?
So, I come from a single parent household. My mom has 5 kids. My dad also has 5 kids, but they only have one kid together.
And that would be you.
And that, yeah. So I have my life kind of, because I'm originally from King George,
Okay.
and King George is a lot different than Fredericksburg. So when I moved up to Fredericksburg, it was like new to me. Like I moved up here in middle school too.
Okay.
So it like just like the closeness of everything was new to me. Like in King George at nighttime, it's not really nothing to do. So
Got it.
like coming to Fredericksburg when you're young and you get, I started to find myself just getting into things that I thought was fun at the time, but now I'm knowing that they're
Not so fun.
not so fun. Yes.
Yeah.
So that probably started it moving to Fredericksburg, I would say, and particularly like the Bragg Hill area,
Mm-hmm.
because I lived when I was in 8th grade, I lived in Wellington Woods, which is off of Lafayette.
Yes.
And then I moved to Bragg Hill. Well, I lived in Fall Hill, which is the apartments right next to Bragg Hill on Bragg Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's probably when, like, the whole, like, the street side came, like, into it.
How old were you at that time?
14 when I
Oh.
moved there. Yeah,
Wow.
13, 14, yeah.
Okay. Started really young.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then being outside, started smoking and just being around the wrong people.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're in it. It's like what you see.
Yeah.
So, like you coming from like a lot of people, just smoking weed in general is just a thing people do
Something to
instead
do.
of like a negative. Like so.
So, but that leads to other stuff, right?
Right. Leads to other drugs. Leads to the mindset changes, especially when you're a teenager starting to smoke weed. And you don't want to do what your parents want you to do. You just want to smoke, stuff like that. And then
So, how old were you when you say committed your first crime?
14, 15.
Really?
Around that time, I got locked up when I was 15. My first time ever getting locked up. My first charge was Grand Theft Auto. When I was around that age, that was like what I used to like to do. We used to steal cars. And to us, it's like not that like at that time it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I'm like, it was just like, I don't know.
So here's my question. You didn't have a driver's license then, right?
No,
But did you know how to drive and while you were stealing these cars?
not really. My friend, the first time I ever stole a car, my friend, like, we joke about this all the time, but I didn't know how to drive, but I lied to him and told him I did. So I'm driving around not knowing how to drive. And,
Wrecking things.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that sent you to the juvenile detention center.
Right.
For how much time did you have to
Like
spend
16 days.
Oh.
You just had to, like, basically, like, pee clean, and then you go home on probation.
there? That was it?
Yeah, and then that starts the whole juvenile probation
Okay. So
thing.
you were on juvenile probation. And then what? You just decided to graduate into the adult side of life.
Yeah, so after that, like, then, you get older and you start, like, not really looking at life for fun. And then you start trying to figure things out. So then that led me to selling drugs and stuff like that, trying to provide for myself and
Wow.
stuff like that.
So, and your parents were there.
My mom's always, like, been there. She's never, like, just been okay with it. Like, I had to fight her to get out.
I am sure.
Get out the door and stuff like that. But it's hard when you, especially you got 5 kids, and you know,
Yeah.
it's hard to.
Yeah. Are you were you the
I'm the
youngest,
second
the
oldest.
second oldest?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. So she had a lot of little kids.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot. So what now, when we met, I think you were coming out of the jail, the
The jail,
Rappahannock
yeah.
Regional Jail. So what led you there? Was it same types of charges?
No. So in 2020, I was charged with first-degree murder and use of a firearm, commission of a felony, and a few other charges.
Those are some heavy duty charges.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. And I know that when we met you, that was hard.
Right.
It was hard because you were coming out of that, but you were able to come out of that.
Right.
What happened? How did you just?
Honestly, the first. So a lot of people don't know that when I first got arrested, I attempted suicide. My first, like, I think it was like my 6th day in jail.
Well, they're gonna know it now.
I mean, yeah. But so I had a cellie, my first cellie. When you go in there, you got to do quarantine. I went there in COVID, so it was quarantine. So you had to quarantine for 7 days.
Yeah.
And I used to do Percocets. So when I came in, I was withdrawing off the Percocets.
Yeah.
So I had like I was going through withdrawals, and my cellie, the whole time he's telling me, like, if you don't tell that you're going to be in jail forever, he keeps telling me this for 6 days. And the food is crazy. It's just like a lot going through my mind. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I tried to hang myself.
Oh my goodness! Thank God you were not successful.
Yeah.
You know, that had to been a scary moment, not only for you but your mom.
Right.
Did she know about that then?
She didn't find out until a while later.
Okay, but somebody was there to save it.
Yeah, my cellie.
Thank God.
He said, yeah.
I'm so glad because, again, look at you now and all that you have accomplished, you are accomplishing, and that you will be accomplishing.
Right.
So it definitely was not meant to be. But I am so glad you were able to get out of that. Those were heavy charges, and you know, God saved you. You know, because you could have been gone for the rest of your life.
Right.
And that would have just been devastating to, I'm sure, so many people. So how now did your perspective on life and society change after you were released?
It's crazy to say that. I just had like an interaction with the police the other day. It wasn't like a bad interaction, but like I got pulled over and got a warning.
Okay.
So it kind of like just changed my whole perspective on the police and everything like that, because at the end of the day, they do have a job to do, and coming from like the black society, we don't really like believe in calling the police for stuff like that. So it's just like learning like a whole nother like way of life, because like a lot of people just like life is about perspective. So if you're stuck in a certain perspective, and
You're stuck.
you're stuck. So
Yeah.
that's why FailSafe helped me to get out of my perspective that I was seeing. Because honestly, I didn't never like before barbering and everything. I didn't know if I thought like the streets was all life had for me. You know.
Wow.
So
How
accepted it.
it's very interesting. So, and I can't even imagine when you, I'm assuming they put the blue lights on when they pulled you over.
Mhm.
How was that? Like the first initial, oh my goodness. When
Recently,
you got
yeah, that was. I mean,
is that the first time you've been pulled over since you've been out?
yeah, that's actually the first time the police have gotten behind me and I've pulled over.
That you even pulled over, huh? So that's a step. That's a great, wow, wonderful. That's great.
It felt good to be able, even if I would have got a ticket, it would have felt good to be able, like, not having, like, I got my license, I got my car insurance. So.
Yes. Look at you this is just a matter of how many years? A couple, maybe?
Two.
Two? In 2 years, you went from facing a murder charge, um, attempted suicide, a murder charge, to now you are a successful business owner. You are an agent of change. You went through our program. You received your scholarship. And we also want to give kudos to Faded and Company, right? Who you were able to get your scholarship to participate in the barber program. Through Faded and Company, what is it?
Faded and Co.
Faded and Co. I had to get it right. But look at you now. You know, you. This is rare.
Right.
You are considered a statistic, right? This is not. This is unheard of. A young black man facing a murder charge just a couple of years ago. You got your life in order, and now you're not afraid when the blue lights come up behind you.
Right.
The blue light special, because you are good. You're doing everything the right way now.
Right.
And you are, and I'm just so excited. I can't wait to even talk about that in a few minutes. But what I want to ask you first is, what were some of your biggest challenges after you were released from jail? And who were some of the key individuals? I know you just mentioned FailSafe. Thank you for that. But who were some of the key individuals that played a part in who you have become today?
Okay, so also while I was incarcerated, I lost my father and my grandfather.
Sorry.
So that was that, and like when when you're in there while they pass away, time has passed when you come home. So my mind was still on
With them
their
there.
passing, but my
Yeah.
family had kind of moved on. So I didn't want to ask too many questions and strike a nerve so that was tough dealing with that, and just dealing with now I don't have really a man to call for stuff like that or any.
But that's why we're here. We give you coaches.
Right, yeah.
Men.
I've met a lot of, so to go with your question, Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Antoine Carey, the owner of Faded and Co.
Yeah.
He has helped me a lot with mindset and futuristic thinking,
Great.
things like that. Jarvis Bailey
Yes.
has helped me a lot with business coaching and mindset, just being a mentor, and also Kenneth Lee from I
Yeah.
met him at the gala.
Absolutely.
He actually paid for me to go to I went to the CT Barber Expo, which is the biggest barber event in the world, basically. And I went twice, and Kenneth Lee has paid both times for me to go.
So you have some pretty great men
For sure.
in your life that's like really pulling you along, guiding you, helping you, supporting you, which is awesome, because I'm sure they see in you greatness, just like we see that greatness in you. And I will tell you, keep that smile. You have got the prettiest smile.
Thank you.
I mean, and I mean that seriously. Your smile can just light up a room. And so you keep that smile. It's going to make a big difference in just meeting people, because that's the first thing they're going to see is that smile. And that's joy, that's peace, that's growth. So you keep that smile. So now, as a justice impacted individual, what changes would you say needs to be made in the system? And how do you use your work today to make some of those changes?
I think it starts with the youth in high school. I think that's the biggest. That's when they're the most I would say vulnerable on either side. They might not be all the way in the streets yet, so you could still save them. And just I remember just a lot of. I actually met Mr. Carey when I was in high school, because I was taking cosmetology at James Monroe, and that kind of introduced me to the barbering and got my mindset on it. And I always remembered his name was Faded and Co. So then I reached out to him when I came home. But I feel like getting services like barbering, plumber, more trades into the high schools, and stop pushing the college. Not everybody wants to go to college,
agree with
and it's not always the smartest decision.
I agree with
It's a lot
that.
of debt.
I mean, there's a lot exactly, but there are a lot of trades out here. There's so much that you can do. You don't, like you say, necessarily have to go to college
Right.
to be successful.
Right.
So that's wonderful. So you think you would like to work with youth?
Yeah.
That would be great. You know, actually, we are at the Rappahannock Juvenile Detention Center with our Toastmasters program. I'm not sure we can do this, or I know I'm saying this live, but hopefully we can. I would love to have you speak at our commencement ceremony when they graduate from the program. I think they need to hear from somebody like you who sat in those same seats
Right.
that they're sitting in but you made some better and some different decisions. So I would definitely love to be able to do that. What piece of advice or wisdom you've learned that you wish everyone knew based on your experience?
I would say I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes, I love it. I love that. I love it. I love it. So other than what you're doing with FailSafe with the Agents of Change, what else are you doing?
I am on the board of directors for Mr. Antoine Carey's
Good.
nonprofit organization,
Okay.
and they help to bring funding to people like myself who may have been impacted by incarceration, who would need a scholarship to go to barber school.
Awesome.
So he's offering individuals the chance to donate or to actually like pay for a whole scholarship if they had the means to.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you both are just giving back,
Right.
you know, from to a community from where you at one point used to take from.
Right.
But you guys are giving back. You're an example to the young people. You are showing that your past does not define you. You are.
Right.
You are the future.
Right.
So I absolutely love it. So I want to talk about your business. I know that I learned some great news today. I know that, well, let me go back and say that you participated in our entrepreneurship boot camp
Right.
last year, and it was wonderful. And so you were able to win the free website. You were given a free website. And so Deb Newman with Petit Way has designed your website that's going to be launched today. That is huge.
I got a little sneak peek. It looks great.
I
too.
got a little sneak peek also, and I am so excited. It looks great. So we are so pleased to be able to give you that opportunity and to have Jarvis Bailey as your coach. This is exciting. So the name of your business is
Faded by Zay.
Faded by Zay. How did you come up with that name?
Oh man, so my first barber name was Jinky Zay Cuts.
Oh my goodness! How do you all come up with these names?
So I had
Jinky J. Who?
Jinky Zay Cuts.
Jinky Zay Cuts. Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of took Mr. Antoine, Mr. Carey's Faded, and then kind of put my name to it.
To your first book.
Yeah.
Oh, so that gives kudos to both of them.
Right.
That because of them that you are now Faded by Zay. I absolutely love it. So, and what are your hours? How do people get in contact with you?
So I work every day, Tuesday through Sunday, 9 to around 6 or 7. But Friday and Saturdays I start at 8 a.m. And you can reach me on Instagram. My Instagram is Faded by Zay 2. You can DM me, or my Facebook is Zay Landry.
Exciting. I am so happy. I am so proud of you. The person you are today compared to the person I saw 2 years ago. Wow. You were a broken person then.
My first time meeting Miss Juanita, I cried.
Yes, you did.
Made me
I was
cry.
gonna.
I'm not. I don't cry much. She made me cry.
You made me cry then. But you are so sweet. You were like somebody. It was just sweet. You're just a sweet guy. You're a sweet. At the time, you were to me a sweet kid. Right now, you're just grown and doing your own thing. And you guys, when I see this, you're just like my son. All I see is my son. My son. You guys are doing great. You are doing great things, Isaiah.
Thank you.
And I am so proud of you. I am very proud of you. And I know your mom is so proud of you as well. You are one of our agents of change. You are one of our scholarship recipients. You are a successful business owner in this community. And I will tell you on live camera, if there's anything else that we can do in FailSafe, we are here. We are your family. We are your FailSafe family, and we want you to be successful, even more successful. You're already successful, but even more. So just know that we're here for you and here to help.
Thank you.
And so now I'm ready to go see what that website looks like and to really do this live launch. So thank you for taking this time to talk to me. I know that you exposed yourself in some ways and said some things. I appreciate it, but you can best believe that what you said is going to help somebody else.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you all for joining us. This is Juanita Shanks again, Stories from the Other Side. Check us out at www.failsafe-era.org. And we look forward to the next time when we are here again, Stories from the Other Side. And oh, by the way, I would like to also acknowledge our sponsors, the Blue Stallion. Thank you for allowing us to share in your space.